Today is 8/9/23. Last night, oh my God, I met my clients out in Northampton. I walk out to my car, some idiot girl. I know what you told me to say about her. Open your mouth, bitch, and you'll go to jail. I was found innocent of everything in 18. They want your involvement in this. Then later on, I'm sitting in the back staff room with the window open. Some ladies outside don't say a word to her. They found out they knew each other before, and that's why he let them get away with all this. It's like you're slow, right? Michelle's mother bragged Memorial Day weekend 2019 for its fight on her husband Nate. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spasm for my daughter. They did all this for her, and our family watching her doing this. She was part of the fake FBI agents getting the back of Dr. Altman Hospital on March 13, 21 with fake FBI badges and was impersonating federal officers. Was mocking me in front of them. She also in Walmart. We called Will. We explained Michelle. And he understood. He set her up that nobody would ever help her. And she wouldn't get no money out of us. He can't stop the money from coming in. And he's going to go to jail, bitch. I told the Department of Justice, the NSA, the CIA, and the Oversight Committee. I've been telling everybody needs to blow him up. It's Dave's girlfriend. Yesterday, I walked in, Bob Evans said everybody's not to say a word to her. We all know it's Dave's crazy girlfriend having people say and do stuff to her. I left in Belden Village, my client had an appointment. So I leave my phone playing with all the statements. I go out to the car. Some kid sitting in his car. He's like, that church thinks they can have people say stuff to her? And the way they act and what they've done to people before, that minister probably did kill that kid. And they have a nerve to say a word to her? See, I gave you the big long list of a lot of people that I could just ramble off the top of my head who that church lied on, they destroyed, threatened, destroyed their property. That's all they do is lie. They worship themselves. They don't worship God. They worship themselves. They're evil. Like they said, other people said, if they weren't on call, they wouldn't have said a word to her or never had anybody touch her. See, I told you I had 6 to 10 surgeries and 2.5 years. My muscles locked up. I went into fibromyalgia. Made a mistake and went to pain management. Witch doctors, do not go there. You can go to physical therapy, chiropractors, massage therapy, but don't go to the witch doctors. They gave me, 20 years ago, drugs that made my whole body swell up. Then I kept saying, is it the medication? No, it's what's wrong with you. No, it's not an allergic reaction. They sent me to their friends. I kept getting sicker and sicker. My legs, I went from 105 to 250 pounds in 6 months. My legs doubled in size. My knees are popping out from the fluid. The orthopedic doctor's pulling turkey-based syringes of fluid out of my knees. It moves up into my chest. My heart's starting to get off. I end up in the cardiac ward. It moves up into my neck, my thyroid, my adrenal gland stops working. My brain starts swelling. They diagnosed me so many things wrong with, like lupus, brain tumors, all kinds of crazy stuff to do, all kinds of unnecessary procedures. One doctor finally sat me down. They're the ones making you sick. You have what they considered a golden ticket insurance company. It pays for almost everything. And where they're falsely diagnosing you and making you sick so you have to come back, they're writing out prescriptions that are worth like $3,000. You only pay like $50, $100, and the drug companies literally sit down and write them out a $200 to $1,000 check. And then they make you sicker and sicker, and they're ripping you and your insurance company off. You need to sue them. Get off all that medication. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up from having all those surgeries. You have fibromyalgia. Well, then Joanne Young came up and told me about the doctor with high doses pain medicine, get you out moving. He told me the same thing. They were just ripping me off, falsely diagnosing me. Nothing wrong with you, but you have fibromyalgia. I'll get you off all that medication, you'll be fine. I lost 30 pounds the first month. Threw up and threw up. Next month, amazing thing, I can move, I drive a car. Had my braces, my canes, pulled myself around stores, allotments, malls. I went from a size 24 to a 16 in 6 months. As the swelling went down, the brain swelling left, the adrenal gland and thyroid started working, my heart stopped getting off. And time Phil and Tyler got killed in that traffic accident I had nothing to do with, on May 3rd, 2003, Brian showed up and told us. We were all at home. 2 months later, I'm down to like a 14, 16. Still pulling myself around. When they died, I could actually walk around outside with just my braces on so my knees wouldn't slide out of place like a duck because my legs were so swollen. Took 9 months for the swelling to leave. And I still fell for 2 more months. In July, I finally went into remission. 9 months of working out. Fibromyalgia goes into spontaneous remission 80% of the time in the first 2 years and follows afterwards. It's a pain syndrome that your muscles lock up from being hurt. All the swelling, all the other thing quit working was doctors committing Medicare, Medicaid fraud, insurance fraud to rip me and my husband off in our insurance company. They encouraged us to sue them for 2 years for what they did to me. Dave and I talked about it for 2 years. We really could use the money and they need to pay for what they did to you, Karen. Now, Altman Family Physicians tells everybody, you always blame the steroids, but they had you on so many medications. Hard telling which one made you swell up and everything quit working. It's a good thing you got off. It was a medication error, allergic reaction. They were ripping me off. And then, like they said, they get referral kickbacks by referring you to their friends. Then they're ripping your thing off. And it was a big racket between 2000 and 2010. Doctors got people hooked to opioids where the Vicodins and the Percocets, they'd prescribe them so they become addicted. And then they have to come back in the next month to get a refill. And then they get the kickback from the drug company. They got thousands and thousands of people addicted to them. They were falsely diagnosing and using their trade to rip people and their insurance companies off. I would have never got sick if I went to pain management. If I would have laid around and took it nice and easy for about a year, I would have just got better on my own. But they made me sick. And even in a protected custody case, within the first month or two, when Dave was with me, they said the same thing. You always blame the steroids, but they had you on so many medications. Hard telling which one made you swell up and everything quit working. It's a good thing you got off of it. See, back 20 years ago, they told me to sue them. That they purposely did it. Because there was nothing like that wrong with you. Your muscles just locked up. And they were ripping you off. See, that minister lied on everybody. That minister told a lie 4 months after I got well. He lied on everybody. He lied on Dave White. He lies on everybody. Destroys everybody. He reigned that church with fear and lies. He controlled them just like he lied on McDonald's, just like he lied on Clorox bleach and Tide. So people couldn't use them or go there. He just lied and those idiots worshipped him like a god. And I'm telling you, that Michelle is such a psycho bitch. Psycho bitch. You do realize, if that agent that returned my call after the hotline wasn't corrupt, with them calling that they were stalking me on their own, taking their own law into their own hands, what would he have done if he wasn't corrupt? He would have arrested them on the spot. Right? He would have arrested him on the spot. You can't take the law into your own hands and break in somebody's home and stalk them. You can't break in and date rape drug them and beat the truth out of them and leave them beat, bruised, throwing up, heart racing, and infected, and human traffic him. You're in jail. See, if he wasn't corrupt, he would have got me out of here the first day and he would have arrested him. But like they said, he's actually that corrupt. They talked about him being paid off in February or March of 19. He's a paid off dirty agent. They also came up to me in January of 19 in Walmart 62. Remember the truth. They'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agent is so corrupt. He'd actually try to steal a settlement. He'll actually try to steal your money. He's actually that corrupt. You walk into a federal police station, an FBI office, because of cops. You tell a federal cop you're stalking some woman in her home on their own. What do they do to you? They arrest you. What do you do when you tell them you drug them to get the truth out of them? They arrest you. The Fourth Amendment over the House, that it shall not be violated. Police and agencies can only be in there with a court order, with statements. They acknowledged on a recorded line they had been in contact with Pete. I told you where I finally called that guy back after he showed up at Apostolic Church of Barberton. I told him someone told on me the night before. Called me a liar. It was verified by cops. It was him. Okay? And then I tried to tell him about the guy threatening to knife me. He called me a liar. He's a serial killer in this area. He took Marlisa's niece. He killed Lori's family member. He's part of the drug traders, human trafficking people. That's who I was telling on. He's calling me a liar, yelling at me about a camera above a bench, and I didn't know. You either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I wasn't lying. No, I'll arrest you and I'll put you in jail. You either say, there's badgering laws. They have to take your statement. If they believe you or not and follow through, they go to jail. It's obstruction to justice. Tampering with witnesses, tampering with evidence is exactly what he did on a recorded line. Made me beg for my life. The other guy yells out about Pete in the shower scene in the other room, and the guy's giggling. Stop. She doesn't know. And then they do it again. Something else. And I went, what's going on? Stop. She doesn't know. And he's giggling. They acknowledged Dave's girlfriend's dad that he hired on his own. They had already been talking to it, that they already knew. You can't even work a case with a conflict of interest. You go to jail, 1 to 10 years and $1 million fine. Everybody turn him in. This is so outrageous. He let his friend run the biggest drug human trafficking scam in the world out of this area. Let drug traders openly drug trade. He let them steal people. He let people get killed. Like that lady set up in Hartville on July 21st, 23. It's disgusting what's going on. It's on a recorded line. A recorded line. An agent acknowledging he knew what they were doing to her before, and he didn't arrest them the first day, and he was to arrest them the first day. They have him on that recorded line. And they sold FBI information. Sold a login. That means he had to give it to him. Made millions. July 9th, 23. The people sitting right behind me and my client in Trinity Gospel admitted they sold a login. They dared the FBI to fix it. The FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents did. And we made a ton of money on the sale of the login. It went nationwide. They have made the FBI so bad and dumb, it's not funny. And they dare them. I have sat back for the last 2 months and wondering why hailstones from heaven haven't came down. And they didn't swarm them with SWAT teams. For June 7th, 23, Walmart 62, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before. Oh, come on now. That agent actually fell for it? You mean John actually fell for the stunt of tapes before? You're kidding, and it was only a stunt. Is that what's going on? FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before? Ha 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 ha. Lighthouse Tabernacle. June 7th, 23, Walmart 62 by the front ladies' bathroom. July 9th, 23, ladies and Mitch selling the login, making a ton of money off of it. And FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents did. They dare them. They sold videos of them daring them. Videos of them mocking. November 18th, 22, Walmart 62, one of the drug dealers, Eric. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it. My idea to do it. My idea to say it for all these people turn on and they fell for it. Well, if it's only you I can take care of it. I know it's that bad and they still fell for it. June 30th, 23, men in Mesker's Park. The guy running it's a real socialite. Real life of the party, how he fooled all these people into helping out with his stunt on the tapes before, and they all helped out, steal everything that she had in life. Because they all fell for his stunt of tapes before. People were screaming at Hartville and Akron. They sold it, went nationwide. Washington State, California, Texas, Florida, Indiana, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, Michigan, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina. They were all here. I had a 2-mile-long brigade in 18 and 19. It went viral. They made millions selling federal. They sold my phone. The taps to it, to the house, to the car. It went viral. They made millions. They admitted the first month in Walmart 62, they were selling the login for $25 a pop. Everybody turned them in online. I tell you what, 2 idiot girls in Kohl's on Sunday were talking to my rapist. He's still telling everybody he is an FBI agent. You know what's going to happen to those 2 girls? They're going to be the next ones in body bags or sold for sex slavery. I don't care if it's the president of the United States. He admits to raping people. He's still a rapist. And what the hell are you doing because you think he's a Fed and they can do this? They can't do it. They're just hire cops. There's even torture and terrorism acts that the government can't do anything mean to you. Now, if you're not a U.S. citizen, it's all fair game. But they can't do anything to a U.S. citizen. They can't drug them. They can't beat them. They can't rape them. They can't do anything. They can't touch you. Hello. We live in the United States of America. We don't live in a communist country. I'm going to upload this. I am so tired. Like they said. I'll tell you what. A couple weeks ago, I walked out of Walmart 62. One of the cops that watched me, him and his wife or girlfriend were behind me. We all know Karen's okay. He said, and the girl that talks to Dave about everything, and she has all those people say and do stuff to her, we all know she's not mentally right. And she's the one having everybody do all this stuff to her. It's Dave's girlfriend, Michelle. Like my daughter-in-law Dixie said, it's ridiculous what retired Judge Pete and Michelle did to you. And I can't believe people would help. It's like everybody in Ohio has lost their mind, their butt of serial killer and human traffickers jokes. People have died. People have been taken. You know, and then people laugh at their victims. They laughed at my coworker Lori. They took her family member and cut her in pieces. They took my house manager's niece. They tried to grab my district manager Kara. They took the girl at the ATM. In Canton. There's all kinds of people who have disappeared out of this area. And these people run around laughing like it's a joke and it's reality. They pull the case. They actually may find those girls. They said it. December of 18 to January of 19, where they were actually taking them in Florida. I'm fucking tired of this. And you know what? Just like the Tuscarora sheriff said, it's illegal for anybody to tell any officer or agent to tell anybody not to believe somebody and not to help them. You go to jail for it. It's a life sentence. So if any cop would ever say that around me, I would turn him into the Department of Justice. And I'm telling you, I knew this guy. I know this guy lives 2.5 hours away. I have a friend on the police department. They know about the case that agent opened with you. They knew about the Texas group that was here. I said, oh, the Kingsmen. He said, is that what they called themselves? He said there was a retired judge in Texas involved in this big human trafficking scam. That's what this is. He said they went down to question him, and he killed himself. There's another judge in another state, I think it's Louisiana, that's involved in it too. He said, and they found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. And then he was telling me about the African American people. A lot of them, they were taking them just to shoot and throw along the railroad tracks. He said they're not releasing a lot of information, and they're getting ready to take care of this. And they're going to use that case that agent opened with you to get these people that are drug trading, human trafficking. And then he looked at me, and there was guys dressed business casual, staring at me and him. Another officer told me it was probably a plant from the police department, trying to get information for him. Then he drills me till I'm stuttering, and I cried for 2 days. That was January 20th, 23. My phone's tapped. February 14th, the sheriffs and the marshals out of this area did an 800 people sweep. It took people out of this area to do their job. See, on July 9th, 23, when those ladies are confessing to selling the login and daring the FBI to fix it, they wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. A lady behind them, I'm tired of it taking people out of this area to clean this up. That's where my friend, and that's a sheriff, a couple hours away, or your local police slow. They should have arrested that agent and that retired judge the first day. They can't do any of this. And like my friend from the prosecutor's office, the FBI don't even have enough authority to ever ask you to stay quiet. It takes a sitting judge to take your freedom of speech away, a gag order. He said that agent was just trying to bully you into staying quiet, so they got away with it. The only thing legal on that phone call he did was list you informant with money and immunity, and by law they can never drop you. You stay informant for life unless they put you in a different witness protection program, and they have to pay you, and you stay in immunity for the rest of your life, and they have to protect you, or they'll go to jail. He was laughing till he almost cried when I told him how mean that agent talked to me. He's like, that agent can't talk to you, and the police know that they can't like that, and they can't go along with it. Only thing legal was the him listing you informant with money and immunity. And legally they can't drop you. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Once the government agrees to protect you, they can't unprotect you because they could hire somebody else to kill you. And they do have to pay you your money the rest of your life, and you stay in immunity. You have to stay in a witness protection program. They can never legally let you go. That's why when police see me, the informants here, they still owe me all that money. That agent stole $290,000 from the witness protection program. And with the sale of the login, they've made millions. It's the biggest scam in the world. Everybody turned them in. They like that lady even said, they owe her that money. Of course they owe her the money from before, and they owe it for the rest of her life for working this case. I was almost murdered. I was raped, tortured, bashed in the back of the head, publicly humiliated, human trafficked, almost shot driving in a shooting night. Other people are dead, and they have it all on legal surveillance. It's a house of horror. I go places, look, it's Karen around the house. Or it's Karen's will. She's out today. They still owe me that money. And like my friend from the prosecutor's office, they can't legally ever drop you. And they owe you that money for working this case. That lady said that on July 21st, 23. It's disgusting what's going on. I looked her up. She is an informant. Of course they owe her that money from before, and the rest of her life for working this case. And of course they can't stop that money from coming in. It's embezzlement. It is for working this case, and it makes my stomach turn. She's out cleaning houses to make ends meet. And on a recorded line. They have an agent acknowledging what they knew and what they were doing to her before and didn't arrest him the first day. We found out that he knew she was being drugged, beat, and raped. And he still didn't arrest him. We found out he let people get killed here, and he still didn't stop it. That's where my friend that's a sheriff, are your local police slow? They should have arrested that agent, that retired judge, the first day. They can't do anything like that. You should have been put in a safe house. I talked to another sheriff. He's like, it's nothing but shit that's going on with you. And what is wrong with your law enforcement? The nation's disgrace. Come on.